Bungie has just issued an emergency update to fix some of the more pressing issues with the new Call to Arms event. If you haven't jumped in, if you haven't logged into Destiny 2, it's been a little bit of a disaster to some degree. I mean, it's almost expected at this point with Bungie, right? We just launched this new event and it's got some problems. Bungie is going to address a good majority of them. We're going to cover it all and see if they got everything. But just to give you the TLDW, right? We had the Call to Arms event launch, 22,000 people. Day two, we're at our peak. Wait a second. Oof, not good. All right. It's not looking too good in terms of the population. Let's see what they're going to say here, right? We appreciate the constructive feedback we've been sharing in the day since Call to Arms started. The team has been working to address the following items. All right, here we go. Starting from the beginning. We've deployed the following changes and fixes as a live update. All right, first up, they set the salt mines activity to only have Taken combatants, not rotate between Dread and Taken during the Call to Arms event to maintain a consistent experience when earning points in solo ops runs. This is an excellent change because the inconsistency of not knowing which day you're going to get, whether it's going to be Dread Day or Taken Day, and that significantly diminishing the amount of points you could possibly score is an oversight that I almost just don't even understand how that went live, right? Obviously, if you're going to have a miniature, I don't even know if you call it a speed running competition, but a point scoring competition that's community driven, you clearly need to have consistency. Like you need to do the same exact activity each day of the competition from the first day to the last day. So the fact that they at least address this early enough along that they are changing it is a good thing, but it probably shouldn't have launched like that in the first place. They're just going to stick with Taken, which I do think is the better option because the Dread, let's be honest, it's way more obnoxious than Taken version, but I like the Taken version overall. I've done the salt mines on both extensively with every modifier on, and honestly, I would take Taken over Dread every day, especially when you run into that Tormentor. That guy is obnoxious. The next part reads, removed cutting edge as a requirement in all Crucible modes to invite further build crafting in the PvP environment. Again, another change. Cutting edge is not something people are big fans of. You have to use all new gear. So that is every piece of gear that was introduced after Edge of Fate, which is a bit frustrating, especially because some of the exotics are not on the featured exotics list. Bungie has addressed that they will be making all exotics featured exotics with renegades, but renegades is still, a month away, right? So right now we want to be able to use all exotics so we can use a variety of different builds inside PvP. So no one's a big fan of cutting edge. No one's a big fan of avant-garde, none of that stuff. So might as well just remove that from the PvP environment. So this is a good change overall. But again, this is like Bungie created the problem and then they're fixing it. So it's like, all right, yeah, whatever. On to the next one, fixed zone control mode. Not recording a player's high scores after their first registered score. This is a good one because what a crazy bug, right? You launch this event and there's like 5 activities. The one PvP activity is bugged, meaning that whatever your first score was from the first time you played zone control, you were locked in at that score no matter how many more times you played. Really weird bug. Not sure where the QA is at and why this goes live, but they are at least addressing it a day in. So now it should hopefully be fixed and you should be rewarded for your performance inside PvP rather than just, wasting time or not playing the PvP part of it at all. The next part reads, fix an issue where the Iron Banner quest, Testament of Strength, was overriding the Call to Arms event quest. Did not know that was happening, but for those that had that, that's fixed now. Next up, we've got more requirements are planned for upcoming live updates. All right, let's see it. Remove power multipliers as a scoring factor in PvE and PvP activities. Geez, I didn't realize it was also applying in PvP. Yikes. This means that players at 500 power can earn the same scores as those at 550 power if they execute properly within the activity. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is like the biggest overarching issue, which is that basically you couldn't possibly unlock the emblem if you weren't 550 power. So it basically forced you to get up to that power level. Now, to play devil's advocate, like I mentioned before, is that making it at 550 power actually gives you a reason to get to maximum power. So there's kind of an incentive there, like there's a carrot on the end of the stick to actually level up to the very highest degree. But again, power grind is not something that should ever be the focus of Destiny 2. This should just be something that is passively happening in the background or potentially just removed altogether. No one really likes power grind. It's just a random arbitrary number that's made up, and it serves no purpose or no value in modern day gaming, right? It was cool maybe 10, 20 years ago, power grinding was cool and interesting, but now we have advanced so far in gaming mechanics and systems that, make number bigger is just stupid, a waste of time. And if that's the best thing that your game can offer in 2025, then your game is in a lot of trouble, right? Let's be real here for a minute. Change boons to add 0 red or green triangles. Players will be able to choose any boon without impacting their overall score. Okay. And we got change all gear player stakes to add 5 green triangles in call to arms activities, matching all bows. Our goal is to give players the opportunity for more variety in selecting modifiers during this competition. This is actually an excellent change as well. So right now, if you want to get the absolute maximum highest score multiplier, you have to put on the all bows multiplier. And then in reality, you're just running around using abilities. Like for example, I was running around with my Hammer Titan. If you're watching my live stream on twitch.tv/LuckTempe, subtle shout out there. And we are just throwing, bonk hammers over and over again. We had Worm God on. And I literally had all bows on, but I wasn't using my bows at all. And in that process, I was able to clear the all bows multiplier on top of everything else, like maximizing the multipliers to get the absolute highest score I possibly could. The only problem with that is that then everyone has to do all bows because it's the only 5 triangled one. It's the only one with 5. So you're kind of forced into doing that. Whereas if you made them all 5, then you'd have a variety and you could kind of pick which one works for you. Maybe you want to do the one that has shotguns. Maybe you want to do this one, that one, etc. Right? And so variety is always good, right? We don't want to pigeonhole people into having to use all bows, right? It's kind of odd way of making everyone play for the next, 2 weeks. So I think this is a good decision from Bungie overall to move away from this and to just make all of them the 5 green triangles. So good decision there as well. And I agree with that. The next part is the team is also actively investigating the following. We're looking into increasing revive token quantities in the coil activity. Okay, I didn't really have a problem with that too much, but I could understand why some might. Next says we are investigating reports of enemies remaining immune even after the all shield drones have been destroyed. This is what I've been talking about frequently with soft locking. For some strange reason, they have like the 3 little drones that are circling around them and you have to shoot each one, right? Sometimes they bug out. For me, it was maybe due to sunspots. I couldn't really tell what was bugging them out, but they would bug out from time to time and then the enemy would just remain immune for the rest of the encounter. And the only way I could possibly bypass it was by like popping my super, and my super would create a sunspot. And a sunspot just like bypasses all immunity shields right now. So sunspots are the key to getting past that if you're finding frustrations with that. But obviously it just shouldn't happen in the first place, right? Like you added the new mechanic into the game and the one new mechanic you added bugged out, Bungie. Like, come on, another QA problem here, but it happens, right? And at least they're addressing it early on. They're going to try and fix it and get past it. We will continue to monitor feedback as the event progresses and provide updates on our plans. This is actually pretty thorough. I think this is every issue that I addressed overall. Obviously, the only other thing that I would tack onto this is just that, no one really wants to do old activities like the salt mines again. Like, come on, we've already been complaining about doing, years old activities inside the portal. It doesn't really freshen things up enough. It doesn't really get people jazzed. It would have been nice if they launched this with a whole new suite of activities, right? There's only a handful of activities to do anyways, right? You could take some old activities that haven't been introduced into the portal yet. You could push them forward, right? You could create some whole new stuff. There's plenty of stuff to explore from, the whole new planet. We got a whole new planetary destination right now. You could do lots of new missions. It's not impossible, Bungie. I know you could create some new stuff. I know you have the potential to do so. So this is Bungie's response, and I do think that they are setting the pace well here, and they are replying to everything appropriately. But again, they launch another event, they launch another activity, it's bugged, people are frustrated. If we keep doing the same pattern, we're going to keep getting the same result where people are like, dude, this game is just a buggy mess, bunch of spaghetti code, bunch of devs that, fuck up everything type of thing. And we really should try to launch something successful and then build off of that. I feel like we keep launching new things and we get people online, right? Like when you look at the 48 hours, like we got people online on Tuesday, right? We got 22,900 people. Not the most impressive numbers. Let's be honest. Not the most impressive numbers. But it's something, you know? But now because we squandered it and everyone got pissed off, now today we got 13,000. So we lost like almost 50% of the people, you know? Because people logged in today and they're like, dude, what the fuck? I ain't playing this shit, right? Like they got pissed off. Let me see where we're at right now. I'm refreshing it. Yeah, exactly. Tuesday, 22,000 people, almost 23,000. And then Wednesday, you know, down to 13, 14,000. We lost almost half the people because people were like, dude, you're trying to make us play the salt mines again, and it's buggy, and, you know, it's not for everyone, right? Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below.